Let's have a live conversation. I want to help you start your own bookkeeping business. So let's talk about it. In this video, I'm going to share some general tips and tricks on how to start a bookkeeping business. And I'm going to give you very tactical, specific advice. And then I'm going to try to save a little bit more time for questions. So if you're watching this video live, feel free to ask as many questions as you possibly can. The past couple of weeks, I have not had enough time to answer everybody's questions. So in this video, I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I can. If you're watching live, let me know what your questions are. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see me. I do have some technical difficulties sometimes, but hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully I sound good. I'm sounding clear. And if you're not watching live, I go live every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 10 a.m. on my YouTube channel. So if you're watching a replay, then I would encourage you to tune in live if you can, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on my YouTube channel. And then if you're listening to my podcast on Apple or Spotify, thanks for your support. I appreciate you listening to my podcast. If you want to watch the video, it's also on YouTube. I've got the exact same name, Bookkeeping Expert Zach Pasquarello, on Apple, YouTube, and Spotify. All right, let's talk about it. Let's have a live conversation. I'm going to answer as many questions as I possibly can. Before I do that, I have a few notes. I have a few notes that I wrote down, and I'm going to go through these first, and then I will get to the questions. So if you're watching live, ask as many questions as you possibly can. And I forgot to introduce myself. If we haven't had the chance to meet yet, my name is Zach Pasquarello, and I started my bookkeeping business 5 years ago. Now I make these videos because I like talking about my bookkeeping business. I like helping other people. I like teaching and coaching other people. And also I'm promoting my investment fund, Zip Capital. So let's talk about how to start a bookkeeping business. Let me give you some really tactical tips. Number one, client agreement. In the very beginning, you want to make sure you have an agreement, some sort of document that you sign, they sign, that clearly outlines all the information, the scope of work. How are you going to pay people? What happens if there is a discrepancy? What happens if some things happen, like governing laws of your scope of work, of your client agreement? I did not have one in the very beginning, and I wish I would. It makes you look legitimate, and it also legally protects you, and it also clearly communicates upfront what the expectations are. What is the scope of work? When is my payment due? How are you going to collect payment? Things like that. So if you don't have a client agreement, I have one that you can download. It's on my website. It's linked down below, harrisburgbookkeeping.com/store. Definitely recommend download my client agreement if you don't have one. Number two, don't do too much. In the beginning, I did this. I went to people's offices. I worked with QuickBooks Desktop. I did sales tax. I did payroll. I tried to help with tax filing. I tried to help with forecasting, budgeting, cash flow. I was doing too much because I didn't want to turn anyone down because I was desperate for a client. So I thought if I turn people down, if I say no, then I'm going to lose a client. And that will happen, but you're going to stress yourself out if you try to do too much. You can't be good at everything. You can't do payroll, taxes, bookkeeping, CFO services, and go in office and work with 10 different softwares. You have to pick. You have to choose. Don't do too much. Don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to have a specific software that you use or service that you provide. I know it sounds scary in the beginning. It almost sounds counterintuitive. I want to get more clients, so I'm going to offer more services. I'm going to work with more types of software, but it's actually the opposite. The more you do, the less good and efficient you are at doing those things, the slower you're going to work, and the fewer clients you're going to be able to handle. The less you do, the more specific you are, the more efficient you can work, the faster you can work, the more clients you can handle, the more work you can do, the more money you can make. That's what it's all about. We're starting this bookkeeping business so we can make money. Learn bookkeeping fundamentals. Hello, you can't just know QuickBooks Online. You have to actually know bookkeeping fundamentals. Now, I do tell people you can start a bookkeeping business with no experience, no college education, no work experience, no credentials, no certifications, but that doesn't mean you can start a bookkeeping business without eventually learning bookkeeping fundamentals. As soon as you decide to start a bookkeeping business, at that point, you need to start learning bookkeeping fundamentals. So yes, you can get started with no previous knowledge or experience, but after day one, it's time to start learning debits, credits, assets, liabilities, equity, income, expenses, accounts payable, accounts receivable, balance sheet, income statement. How do all of those things work together? Chart of accounts, general ledger, reconciliation. How do all of those things work together? You need to understand all of those things eventually. You don't need to know everything on day one, but eventually, 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, you should definitely learn bookkeeping fundamentals and basic accounting concepts. Be proud. Be proud to be a bookkeeping business owner. And I'm talking to my younger self, Zach Pasquarello, 5 years ago. Be proud to be a bookkeeper. There's no shame. I was embarrassed. I'll be honest. I was embarrassed to tell people that I was starting a bookkeeping business. I felt like it wasn't good enough. I felt like I wanted to be a CPA. I wanted to be an accountant. I wanted to be a tax professional or a tax expert. I felt like being a bookkeeper wasn't good enough, but it is. It's absolutely good enough. What is good enough? Who cares? What does that even mean? Is $5,000 a month good enough? Is $50,000 a month good enough? What does it even mean? Who cares? Be proud. Tell people what you do. This is the easiest way to do marketing. Whenever you meet somebody new, it usually comes up at some point. What do you do for a living? Well, as a matter of fact, I just started a bookkeeping business last year. I just started a bookkeeping business a few months ago. I'm actually growing my bookkeeping business. I'm a bookkeeper. I own Harrisburg Bookkeeping. Oh, what is that? Oh, I help other business owners get ready for taxes. I help them do their bookkeeping. I help them organize their finances. Whatever it is, whenever you meet somebody new, whenever you go to a family reunion, whenever you go to a birthday party, or whenever you go to whatever, bingo or bowling or a football game on the weekend, it comes up in small talk. What do you do for a living? I'm a bookkeeper. I just started a bookkeeping business. It's the easiest way to do marketing. Now, of course, caveat, don't be annoying. Don't let that be the only thing you ever talk about. Right. Obviously, just standard social skills. You want to mix it up a little bit, right? Like don't just talk about yourself the whole time. Don't just talk about your bookkeeping business, but also don't be afraid to bring it up. Bring it up in the beginning, talk about it a little bit. Easiest way to do marketing. Number 5, make sacrifices. I talked about this yesterday. You need to be willing to sacrifice what ordinary people do if you want to be extraordinary. Extraordinary. Everybody has a 9 to 5 job. Everybody goes to work 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Everybody takes off on all the major holidays. Everybody takes a 1 hour lunch break. Everybody gets off work at 5 p.m. and goes to enjoy their personal life. Everybody gets to relax on the weekend. Most people take 1 or 2 weeks of vacation every year. But if you want to keep your full-time job and be extraordinary and do something that nobody else is doing, you're going to need to make sacrifices. You're going to need to make sacrifices that ordinary people are not willing to do because most people cannot start a business while they keep their full-time job. It's very, very, very hard. It's simple, but it's very hard because you're going to need to make sacrifices. Wake up early, skip your lunch break, stay up late, skip trivia night with your friends on Tuesday. Maybe you don't watch football all day on Sunday. Maybe you wake up early on the weekends, whatever that looks like. Maybe you have to skip vacation this year because maybe you just quit your full-time job and it's not in the budget to spend $2,000 on a family vacation this year. I'm not saying never have fun. I'm not saying get rid of all your friends and never see your kids ever again, but you're going to need to make sacrifices. Don't listen to anyone else. Don't listen to what other people say. People hate when other people do different things. And starting a business is very different. Most people are just employees. Most people graduate high school, go to college, or they just start working right away and they go into corporate America and they get a job. Whatever that job might look like, military, government, nurse, doctor, lawyer, engineer, accountant, warehouse worker, truck driver, landscaper, construction worker. That's normal. That's what normal people do. But us entrepreneurs, business owners, we're not normal. It makes people uncomfortable. They don't understand what we're doing, or maybe they're jealous. Maybe they wish that they had the courage to start their own business, but they don't. So what you're doing makes them feel uncomfortable. They don't understand. Don't take business advice from someone who never started a business. You're going to hear everybody try to give you advice. All your friends from high school, all the other moms and dads of your kids' friends in elementary school, all your family members, your parents, your grandparents, your aunts and uncles, your cousins, all your friends. They're going to try to give you advice. Maybe they're going to say, "Oh, that's too risky. What are you doing? You have an amazing job." Don't take advice from someone who hates their job and wants everyone else to be miserable. That's the majority of people. The majority of people are just going through life, going through their 9 to 5, working 40 hours a week, and just praying that they can retire early. But that's not us. We're excited. We are eager. We are courageous. So don't take advice from other people who never started a business. Don't take advice from anybody else. With that in mind, consume content to help you get motivated. Podcasts, YouTube videos, books, other social media channels, other people's social media pages. If you want to follow me on social media, check out all my social media posts. I'm constantly posting motivational, inspirational advice, strategy on my Facebook, LinkedIn, X, Twitter, and Instagram, and of course, YouTube and my podcast. Follow me, follow other entrepreneurs, consume content to help you get motivated. When I go to the gym, I either listen to my Bible app or I listen to a podcast. And both of those motivate, educate, inspire, and point me in the right direction. So while you're driving, while you're working out, while you're cleaning the house, while you're mowing the grass, whatever you're doing, going for a walk, walking the dog, consume content to help you get motivated because it's lonely. It's lonely on the top of the mountain. And once you start your bookkeeping business, once you quit your full-time job, it's going to feel lonely. So surround yourself with other entrepreneurs. Consume content to help you get motivated. Okay, that's it for my notes. Now I'm going to answer everybody's questions. So if you're watching live, now's the chance to ask as many questions as you possibly can. I'm going to be looking at the chat. And if you're not watching live, try to tune in 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on my YouTube channel so that you can ask some live questions. Before I get started, I will briefly mention this video is sponsored by Zip Capital. I'm offering 8% up to 12% fixed returns to accredited investors. If you want to learn more about my investment fund, there is a link in the description of this video. Go ahead and register on my website. If you have $25,000 or more sitting in a savings account, treasury bill, money market, bank CD earning 2, 3, 4% interest, this could be a good alternative for your cash. I'm offering 8% up to 12%, and it's fixed returns. So it's more reliable than the stock market or a cryptocurrency. So consider registering on my website. I would love to chat if you've got $25,000 or more sitting around and you want to invest with me. All right, let's go to the chat. Steel Sadler, good to see you. Heath, Lima Charlie, sir, great. Q Brown 87. Good morning. I have a fun question, then a bookkeeping question. 5 seconds left in the game. Who do you want taking the last shot, Kobe or LeBron? I would probably say neither, and I'm going to go with Steph Curry. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Steph Curry on that one. Number 2, after creating an LLC and getting an EIN, would you recommend going straight into marketing or creating a website? Straight into marketing and create a website. Google my business profile, create a website. Squarespace.com. I'm not sponsored by them. They don't pay me anything to say this. I just use Squarespace.com and I like them a lot. Get a website, very easy to use, great templates. Google my business, set up a Google business page. And then also on your Facebook page, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you are on social media, create a social media account. If you don't have one already, start creating content today. Tell people, make a post today. Hey, everybody, I'm thinking about starting a bookkeeping business. That's it. Super, super simple. And then tomorrow, hey, everybody, update. I just got my EIN. I just submitted my LLC paperwork. Just update people along. Hey, everybody, I'm learning about bookkeeping. I'm learning about QuickBooks Online. Has anybody ever used QuickBooks Online for their business, for their accounting software? Start creating. It's so simple. Just tell people what you're doing. Just start creating content. Heath, any book recommendations? Unfortunately, I don't really read books. I listen to the Bible. I think the Bible is the best book ever. Love the Bible. Alex Hormozy has a couple really great books, really tactical, really practical. So I like Alex Hormozy. And then something else that I like are other, what are they called? Biographies of other successful entrepreneurs. To me, that's really motivating and inspiring. Just reading nonfiction biographies of other entrepreneurs like Elon Musk and people like that. So I like that. I like those kind of books. Brett, good morning, Zach. Thanks for your videos. Always appreciate your insight. Do you upload Square and Stripe into QuickBooks, or do you just do journal entries? So for two answers. For my own business, I upload the individual Stripe transactions. So I sell my course, I sell digital downloads, and I have a weekly group meeting on Monday that costs money. It's a subscription. And so I use Stripe for all of those payments. And I do download the Excel spreadsheet of my monthly Stripe transactions, and I import those into QuickBooks for my own business. But for other people, I don't do that unless they specifically ask me, and nobody has ever asked me to do that. So for other people, I just record the Stripe deposits as income, and then I would do a journal entry at the end of the month to account for, what do I account for? The Stripe fees or the Square fees. So if Square fees were $500, then I would debit Stripe fees or Square fees for $500 and credit income for $500 to account for that difference. Because whenever, let's say $500, let's say you had $10,000 of Stripe sales last month, you only received $9,500 because Stripe took out the $500 for the Stripe fees. So you're going to receive $9,500. So that looks good. $9,500 of income from Stripe that month, but then you're missing that $500. So that's why you got to debit Stripe fees and credit income. Okay. Aaron Hollinsworth, when you send out all of the DMs and people write back that they would love to connect and either have a phone call or set up a time to go have coffee together, I don't have time. What is your reply? I have a 10-minute consultation. So I do two things. When that happens, I add people to my tracker. I have a tracker of interested leads. If I sent you a DM and you replied with that, then I'm going to add you to my tracker, and I'm going to follow up every 30 days. So I add you to my tracker, but then I'm also going to send you my calendar link. I'm going to say, hey, unfortunately, I don't have a ton of time for in-person meetings right now, but if you want to have a 10-minute phone consultation, here is my link. So have a 10-minute meeting link. It's just 10 minutes. Have them schedule a 10-minute phone call them, see what it's all about, see if they're interested. If they sign up, great. If they don't sign up, they're still in my tracker of interested leads. And so if they respond on October 29th, then November 29th, I'm going to send them a DM on the same platform, Facebook, wherever, text message, wherever, email, however they contacted me, I'm going to send them another email. Hey, do you still want help with your bookkeeping ? And then I'm going to continue following up with them every month until they either say yes or no. Let's see. Thank you for your videos. It is very informative and motivating. Question: what would you suggest for Google My Business if I don't want to put my home address and I don't have an office? I think you can have a virtual office. I know it's difficult to get verified today. You don't need to put your home address, or you can list your home address, but it doesn't need to be public. So it can be a virtual address, but you're going to need to verify that you actually live there. So you're going to need to take a video verifying, like you're going to need to literally walk outside, take a video of the street sign, take a video of yourself, walk into your house, show your home office. You can use your personal address without making your address public. You can have a virtual office, but you need to get verified. I've actually never done it because I got my Google My Business profile verified before they changed it, but that's how you do it now. So unfortunately, I don't have a ton of personal experience with that, but that is how you do it, I think. Yes, I'm starting slow, working on inventory, QuickBooks, helping family. Great. There's nothing wrong with starting slow. Sometimes you got to start slow. Starting slow is not a bad thing. Giving up is the only, really, there's two things that you can do that are bad. You can be dishonest and commit fraud. That's very bad. You have to have integrity. You have to be honest. You have to try to do your best. As a bookkeeper, as an entrepreneur, you have to have integrity. So that's the first bad thing you can do. The second bad thing you can do is give up. That's the only other bad thing you can do. So starting slow is not a bad thing. Giving up is a bad thing. Do you find most CPAs easy or hard to work with? CPAs, here's the thing, CPAs are easy to work with when they want information. And so that's really all that matters. I'm the bookkeeper. I work with my client. My client has a CPA. The CPA has to file taxes. The CPA is going to request information. So it's my job to do my best to help my client answer those questions as long as they're related to bookkeeping. So I will do my best to work with and cooperate with the CPA. But if I want something from the CPA, forget about it. They're not going to help. They're not going to give you anything unless, and here's the big caveat, you have helped them before. So that's why I'm a big fan. Partner with a CPA who is open and available for more work and send them tax clients. Help them. And then they'll be much more likely to help you. I helped my CPA a ton. The past 3 years, I sent a ton of business to him. And now when I call him, guess what? He answers my phone calls and he appreciates all of the help that I've given him. And now he's willing to help me. Elmer, what payment tool did you use to collect payments from clients? I used QuickBooks Online. I send all of my invoices with QuickBooks Online. So you can set up payment processing with QuickBooks, and then you can just electronically deliver invoices directly to your clients. And you can even set up recurring invoices to automatically send to your clients on the first day of the month. Do you still use PandaDoc? Absolutely. I still use PandaDoc today. I use PandaDoc a lot now for Zip Capital. So I have ACH authorization and I have other legal documents that I send through PandaDoc for Zip Capital for all of my real estate loans. I use it almost daily. I love PandaDoc. It's a little bit expensive, but I use PandaDoc all the time. I think there's DocuSign, there's PandaDoc, Adobe has electronic signature requests. Doesn't really matter which one you use, but yeah, I still use PandaDoc. Also, can you please talk about how do you interact with all of the people or new connections on Facebook? If you are getting 7 to 12 new connections daily, is it a lot of people to interact with? So there's two different things that are happening here. I send people messages. And so if I get 7 to 12, so this morning, perfect example. This morning is October 29th. So on LinkedIn, I'm doing this strategy right now. On LinkedIn, I send 30 connection requests every single day to local people who I think might want to invest in Zip Capital. And then 30 days later, I send them a message. So on September 29th, all of the people who accepted my connection request, then I will send those people a message on October 29th, which is exactly what I did this morning. So I had 13 people from September 29th accept my connection request. And then I sent them all a message this morning. It was the exact same cookie cutter message. I'm not necessarily saying that's the best sales tactic, but I just don't have enough time right now to personally message all of these people and have long, drawn out conversations. So I just copy and paste, shotgun blast, the copied and pasted same sales message to all of my new connections. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I just don't have enough time right now to personally communicate and have a long, drawn out conversation with everybody. So there's two things we're talking about. We're talking about sending messages, which is just one message that I do very quickly, very simply. The other thing we're talking about is engaging with their content. And so I also recommend not only create content, but send friend requests, send connection requests, send messages 30 days later, but also continuously engage with your community. And so it's very simple. Set a 10-minute timer. Scroll down your Facebook news feed and just comment on your Facebook friends' posts. Just keep it polite, positive, professional, and short. Make a comment. If you're Facebook friends with a landscaper and he's a potential client and he just posts a picture of a new landscaping project he just completed, hey, this looks amazing. Keep up the good work. So I try to engage with as much of my audience as I possibly can. But I'm not strategically engaging with all of my new connections every single day. I just randomly scroll through my news feed and try to comment on 10 posts per day. What stage were your clients usually at in their business when they hired you? Thank you for keeping up with the live videos. What stage were your clients usually at? Most people are 6 to 12 months into their business. Most people get started and they don't hire a bookkeeper, and then 6 months go by and then things really grow and they need to hire a bookkeeper. Or 6 months go by and it's time for tax season and they really need to hire a bookkeeper. So a lot of people are going to hire you in December, January, February timeframe, getting ready in anticipation for tax season. But most people hire me in the first year of their business, or most people hire me 2 to 3 years later when they've had a couple bad bookkeepers and they want to come to me because I'm a bookkeeping expert. I'm a QuickBooks expert. I have a lot of experience. And so people want to work with an experienced bookkeeper. I really want to keep things simple and refrain from doing AR, AP. Am I okay in that thinking? Or should I buck up and just do it to make more money? You are absolutely okay in thinking that, but I would recommend maybe try to do it. It's really not that complicated. You just record bills in QuickBooks and then you pay them. It's really pretty simple and you can make a lot of money. And most importantly, you can get bigger clients. You can get those bigger clients who are willing to pay $1,500 per month, $2,000 per month. It's a great way for you to skyrocket the growth of your business. So I definitely recommend try to do it, but it's okay if you don't want to do it. You don't have to. What CRM or tracker do you use? Sherry Clark, Microsoft Excel. I am a simple man. I don't like to use fancy, complicated software. I just use Microsoft Excel to keep track of all of my interested leads. It's really that simple. Claire Shine, 1875. I now have 2 clients. Congratulations. I'm told that their accountants should give you a journal entry to do year-end entries. Neither of the accountants had replied to my emails. What is normal? Don't worry about it. You have done everything you can do. We're not mind readers. We can't force clients and CPAs to do anything. You are right in assuming that there might be some adjusting journal entries that need to be made, but it's not the end of the world. You have already done a good job by requesting the adjusting journal entries. If the CPA doesn't want to reply to you, that's on them. If the client doesn't want to reply to you, that's on them. There's only so much we can do. We can't force people to reply to our emails. So I would say it's totally fine that you're not doing adjusting journal entries for every client. I certainly don't do them for every single one of my clients. I only do them for very few of my clients. So it's more normal to not do them than it is to do them. Aaron, what if they are wanting the phone call or coffee meetup just to sell to you and it's obvious they don't want bookkeeping services? Would you still talk to them on the phone or do you ignore? If it's obvious that they don't want your bookkeeping services, I ignore them and I don't talk to them. Or you could say something like, hey, I'm really busy right now. I'm in growth mode with my bookkeeping business. If you want help with your bookkeeping, I would love to have a quick phone call with you to see if I can work with you. And that's where I would leave it. But if it's super obvious that they're just trying to network and sell to you, then I would just ignore it. Listen, as an entrepreneur, you're going to see this more and more. It's going to happen so often. People who are realtors, life insurance, solar panels, like all those kind of people who there's just like a ton of salespeople, they're going to try to network with you. But we don't have time for that. So you're doing a good job. I'm happy that you were able to sniff out that it's very obvious. So good on you for noticing that. And I would ignore it, or at least just don't set up the meeting or don't talk to them. If you really want to, you could have a quick phone call, like 10 minutes, 10-minute quick phone call, and the key that I like to do whenever I know it's going to be a long phone conversation, if we've got a 10:45 phone call, I might pick up and I'll say, hey, and then I'll say, hey, just so you know, I've got an 11 o'clock meeting. So sorry, I do have to run right at 11, but I'd be more than happy to talk for the next 10 minutes to see if we could possibly work together. So I usually try to, if I know it's kind of a BS meeting, I usually try to start the meeting with a hard stop at the end so that I know I don't want to get caught up in a 1 hour long networking conversation with the salesperson. A couple more questions, then I got to run. If someone who has been in business for several years, but now wanted to pursue the bookkeeping business and needed to get to $8,000 per month in net income as fast as possible, like 3 months, is that likely? No, that is not likely. So here's what is likely. Clients on average are going to pay you $400 per month, and you're going to get 1 to 2 clients per month. So it's going to take you 10 months to get to $8,000 per month of recurring revenue. Now, that's not guaranteed, but that's just on average what I experienced. 2 clients per month, $400 on average. But you're also going to get cleanup projects. So I was able to make $8,000 per month at around month 5 because of big cleanup projects. So if you're really active and really good at marketing and selling, you might be able to get to $8,000 per month at around month 5, but it's not guaranteed. So I would say at like 5 to 10 months into it, you might be close to $8,000 per month. And it could be way faster. You could be a rock star and you might do it in 2 months, or it could be way slower. You might be not as good at marketing. It might take you 14 months, but I would say 5 to 10 months is probably average. How important is it for you to understand your client's business in order to scale? Do you limit how much you get involved in their operations, or do you have to truly understand what they do? Nope, you do not have to understand what they do. I have some general contractors who I don't know really what they do. I don't really know if they're a roofing company or if they just do like remodeling kitchens. I don't really know and I don't really care. Accounting is accounting. Debits and credits are not biased. We treat all income, all money the same. So, of course, you want to generally know, like if it's either a trucking company or a real estate investor, like you want to generally know what industry are they in, but you don't really need to know all the ins and outs of their operations. Accounting is accounting, regardless of what they do. With that being said, there definitely is some benefit to having industry specific knowledge. It's not required, but it will benefit you as you try to grow and scale. As an example, real estate investors. I know a lot about real estate investors because I am in the real estate industry myself with Zip Capital, my real estate private money lending, and my real estate debt fund. So when you try to scale and get more clients and attract higher end clients, it will definitely benefit you to have industry specific knowledge, but it's not required. So it's been 30 minutes. I got to hop off. Thank you, everybody, so much for your questions and for your engagement. I will see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m., same time, same place. And if you want to learn more about my investment fund offering 8 to 12% fixed returns, Zip Capital, register on my website. I would love to chat. Thanks so much.